Good morning, Mega After Dark! And I cannot seem to find the live stream on here. Where is it? Why is it not showing? There it is. All right. Now I can see who's here. But good morning, Mega Podlings. So yeah, it's Wednesday. It is been quite an exciting week. Tomorrow night is the premiere of Picard. I couldn't be more excited for the premiere of Picard tomorrow. I'm ready, and I don't know. Let's just anxious for spring to start. Anxious to get this winter complete, done with. And oh, Batquin is here. Hello, Batquin. Hello, Meaty Obelisk Radio. Hello, James. I'm here. Question: Never heard of Inspector Gadget? Yes, of course I've heard of Inspector Gadget. Yes, yes, yes. Da 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 da. Inspector Gadget. Da 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 da. Yeah, I was a fan of Inspector Gadget back in the day, and the voice was done by this gentleman, Mr. Don Adams from Get Smart. Yeah. So how's everyone doing today? Hey, check out this puzzle. Tell me this puzzle isn't great. I love puzzles. I don't get to do puzzles too often because, you know, kids and animals. But isn't this a cool puzzle? Look at that thing. Look at that. That is a great puzzle, right? Look at that. Man. I got to find the time. I'm looking forward to doing this puzzle. Anyway. Backwin says that puzzle is so dope. Thank you. I love that puzzle. I saw that puzzle months ago, and I didn't buy it, and I was kicking myself. And every time I go into a Target or Walmart, I check. I say, hey, let me see if they have the Star Wars puzzle. They never do. Could have ordered it online, but I didn't. But then yesterday, I found it, and I'm like, that's the puzzle. I got to get it. Anyway, Joey says, you can watch Mean Girls while you do that puzzle. I could if I had Mean Girls. I do not own a copy of Mean Girls, so that probably won't be happening. James said, Joe, ever heard of the HBO series Brain Games from the 80s? I totally recommend it. It's animated by Sesame Street animators, by the way. Great puzzle you got there. Thank you. I have not heard of the show, but Sesame Street animators, I'm in. I'd like to see it. Lisa says, hi-ho, Joe. I always want a puzzle, but never... I guess it's supposed to be never get one, never buy one. Yes, yes. Well, I have more puzzles than I put together. I love puzzles, so I buy puzzles. I see cool puzzles, I buy them. Then I never put them together. That whole closet's filled with puzzles. I should do a video and show you all the puzzles I have, and only a fraction of them have ever been put together. Backwin says, if you want to find really good Star Wars puzzles, check out Ollie's. They have some awesome puzzles. Wow, that's, thank you for the tip. We have several Ollie's near here. I haven't been to one in a while, so I'll have to go and check that out. Aubrey's in the room. Welcome, Aubrey. Bohemian says, how's my week going? Well, you know, I've been sick. I'm feeling better now. Feeling much better now. But Monday, I wasn't on the Cinema Sickness live stream because I was sick. Turns out Rick was sick, too. Rick was sick. We were both sick. But feeling much better. Meaty Obelisk Radio says, Gary Reed was my personal account. Oh, Gary! Hello. I'm on my podcasting channel. I still stand by my statement about Scott Bakula. I saw your comment the other day, and I didn't realize that was you. James says, it's on games. My favorite sketch is Digitville. Let me write that down in my handy-dandy notebook. You know you have kids when you're quoting Blue's Clues. Let's see. HBO, Brain Games, and Digitville. There we go. It's in the book. Backwin says, I just watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation today, and my goodness, it was pure insanity and stupidity all rolled into one. You know, I've never seen it. I've never seen Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. I have a lot of problems with the Texas Chainsaw franchise because it's so disjointed. Like, there's a million sequels, but none of them are sequels to each other. Like, every one of them kind of is like, we're going to ignore the last one. It's like The last Halloween movie. The last Halloween movie where they're like, we're ignoring everything but part one. That's like every Texas Chainsaw sequel. Every Texas Chainsaw sequel is like, screw the rest of the series. We'll just do one. We don't care. As long as there's a Leatherface guy and a chainsaw. That's all you need. And there's like no continuity in those movies at all. I eventually just kind of gave up. I own the last, I think, 3. I own them, which would be like, I think the Texas Chainsaw. I think it was just called Texas Chainsaw, and then they made a prequel called Leatherface. I haven't watched either of them. Lisa says, I regret not buying the Coneheads puzzle I saw. That's awesome. Coneheads. Wow. That sounds like a good one. Aubrey says, glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Aubrey. And thank you, Aubrey. Thank you for the Secret Life of Pets too. I appreciate that very much. And the kids appreciate it. And the kids thank you. Bohemian says, I've been under the weather too, recovering from wisdom teeth surgery. Oh, Bohemian. I feel your pain. I had all 4 wisdom teeth removed. I'll let you know a little secret. I still got them. My wisdom teeth are in my desk drawer. I saved them. I said, can I keep those? They washed them up. They gave them to me. If you guys want to see my wisdom teeth, I could break out my wisdom teeth right now. I know exactly where they are. But nobody's tuning in to see Crazy Joe's wisdom teeth. I know that, so. Quinn says, Ollie's has a lot of Star Wars figures, mainly ones that never sell, such as Vice Admiral Holdo. Yeah, and I think Cinema Sickness paid full price for a Vice Admiral Holdo. And it's like, you can get that one dirt cheap, right? Nobody wants Holdo. Mustang Man with the super chat. Thank you, Mustang Man. Let's super chat Hippo. Thanks you. What was that? He says thank you, and I thank you. What is your ranking of the Back to the Future movies? Well, I should save that for a video. No, there's only 3 of them. I'm not going to do a video for that. My favorite is probably part 3. Part 3 is my favorite, but by a narrow margin, very narrow margin. Part 1 is so close, but part 3 is probably my favorite. Then part 1 and part 2. I like part 2. It's not like I like them all. I love them all. But part 2 is kind of, for me, the one that gets you from part A to part C. It's the bridge, it's the link. But Carl Sagan called it the most accurate time travel movie ever made. That's true. Marie's here. Hi, Crazy Joe from Joe and I. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Marie. Appreciate it. Jay didn't feel well either. Only had 3 wisdom teeth, no 4th. I had all my wisdom teeth taken out on the same day. All 4 on the same day, and it was the day before my high school graduation. I was very drugged up the day of my high school graduation. Monkey Man says, no wonder you're so wise. Yeah, you got to keep the wisdom teeth, or else the wisdom goes with them, right? Like, I gotta hold on to them. Hold on for one more day. Anyway. Backwin says, the first 8 Friday the 13th films are still great, especially part 1 through 4 and part 6. I'm actually partial to part 7. I really like part 7 with the telekinetic girl. I thought that was a pretty good one. Bohemian says, bring them out. I should have kept mine. Does anyone really want to see my wisdom teeth? I don't think that's what you're tuning in for. Yeah, I don't want to subject people to my wisdom teeth. I'm going to put it this way. That's one you got to super chat for. You got to super chat for my wisdom teeth, because if we're going to gross out the whole stream, no, I don't think we should break out the wisdom teeth. Metro, how do I say that? Metropolis Radio says I'm going to call you Gary. Gary says the 2009 movie ignores all the other movies except for the original. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. So Friday the 13th has 3 timelines. See, I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know, the 2009 movie, for me, that could easily be called part 12. You could just be like Friday the 13th, part 12. I don't think there's anything in there that makes it rebooty. Because if you think about it, continuity was never the strong point of the Friday the 13th franchise. I look at it like Jason is like an urban legend. The kids go to camp and they're like, let me tell you about Jason. And nobody quite gets the facts right because he's like, it's like a whisper thing, like, I hear he saw his mom get decapitated and it rose from the dead and crawled out of the lake. And like, I get the impression that's kind of what Jason is, because if you look at the continuity, none of the movies have a real strong continuity. So I kind of look at it as like the boogeyman you tell stories about, so nobody gets it quite right, and that's why the continuity's kind of wild on them. I don't know, that's how I see it. Aubrey says, no teeth, please. Ooh. Joey says, I used to like part 2 until 2015 came, and it was nothing like Back to the Future. Actually, I wrote an article for a website that is no longer around. There was a website called mania.com, and I wrote an article on all the ways Back to the Future Part 2 got the year 2015 right, and I thought there were quite a few. For one thing, I don't know, you may not know this, because obviously they're not sold on the market, but hoverboards really did come out that year. There are real hoverboards now. A company was working on hover technology, and they kind of made a breakthrough. They only work in special arenas because they have to have like magnetic floors, and so obviously it never became like a commercially made product, but they did get actual hoverboards created by 2015. It happened. And then you've got the Cubs going into the World Series. They kind of nailed that too, and just the big screen TVs. You know, people watching more than one channel at once, and they had something like back then. You got to remember there was no Skype back then, but the Needles was calling them on the picture phone. So really. I mean, yeah, they didn't get everything. We don't have flying cars, which I think is a blessing. We don't want flying cars. We do not want flying cars. Do you want a flying car? I don't want a flying car. A flying car is a terrible idea. How many times have you been driving your car and your car stalled? Your car stalled and you're like, the car's stalling. You got to turn it off. You got to restart it. Imagine it does that and you're in the sky. Boom. You're not walking away from that. How many fender benders have you had that you're like, it was nothing, I hit a deer, it's just a little fender bender? Well, imagine that fender bender was followed by a crash. You're not walking away from that one. So, yeah, no flying cars, please. That's a terrible idea. But and we don't have hydrated pizzas. But they actually, I think, got quite a bit right. Metro Obelisk Radio says, you got close to the pronunciation. Think Metropolis. Just replace Opolis with Obelisk. Metropolisk. There we go. Bohemian says, I'm kidding anyway. And plus, I had 4 of mine taken out Monday, so all I wanted was Harry Styles. Backwin says, what's even more confusing is how different Jason looks in each movie. Part 2, he has hair. Part 3, he said Hills Have Eyes reject. Part 4 is a troll. There you go. I always like Freddy better. I gotta say, I always like Freddy much better. You know what I like about Freddy? They made 8 movies. They made 8 movies. 9 if we can count the remake with Jackie Earle Haley. I didn't care for the remake, but I like Jackie Earle Haley. I would be very happy to see Jackie Earle Haley play Freddy again in a better movie with a better script. But what I like about that is, in 8 movies, they barely scratch the surface of what you can do with Freddy. They barely scratch the surface because a dream, anything can happen in a dream. Anything at all can happen in a dream. So by setting it in a dreamscape, imagination run wild. You could do anything in those movies. They didn't even scratch the surface of what could be done. James says, fun fact, Joe, Mr. T, the A-Team guy and the villain from Rocky 3 had an animated series. Get out! Really? I was actually wearing a t-shirt just yesterday. No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I wasn't wearing a shirt with Mr. T 2 days in a row. But it was the day before yesterday. I was wearing a shirt that actually had the animated Mr. T from the cartoon. Joey Baseball says, do we have flying car? We do have flying cars. They're called helicopters. Joey also says there was no Jaws 19. It depends how you number things. Because if we can pretend, we can call Deep Blue Sea Jaws 4. We can call Sharktopus Jaws 5. I don't know. We can do it. We can do it. It takes imagination. Lisa says, Back to the Future possibly doesn't have as good of a prediction record as The Simpsons. That is accurate, actually. I wonder if The Simpsons ever did an episode early on where they predicted that they would last 30 years and not be funny anymore. Oh, I said it. I said it. I love The Simpsons, but my God, that's a show that's outlived itself. I loved the early episodes. 13 seasons. I always say, stop at season 13. Watch The Simpsons at season 13, then bail. Metro Obelisk Radio says, I want a flying car from the Jetsons where it could fold into a briefcase. Talk about progress. Absolutely. James says, did anybody ask for a Jaws 19? I'm sure that was just a joke. Jamel says, hi, Joe. You know, I got to tell you, though, James, one of my pet peeves is when people say about a movie, nobody asked for that. Like, I know when Solo came out, I heard a lot of people saying, nobody asked for a Solo movie. Nobody asked for that. And that's a pet peeve of mine because nobody asked for that should never be a reason not to do something. Nobody asked for the original Star Wars either. You know, nobody asked for, what's a movie that's beloved? Did anybody ask for The Princess Bride? I know people love that movie. Did people ask for The Matrix? You know, it's like art shouldn't be created by demand. It should be created because somebody has an idea, somebody has a story they want to tell. And I don't think nobody asked for it should ever be the reason. So I always get bothered when I hear people say, well, that movie came out and failed because nobody asked for it. And I'm like, well, yeah, but why do they have to ask for it? Because people aren't going to know they want it until they see it. How are they going to know they want it until they see it? I mean, there's certain things you're going to know you want. Like if you say to me, do you want to see a movie where Mr. T saves the world from a zombie apocalypse and a giant robot? I'm going to be, yeah, I want to see that. Bring it on. But if you said to me, like, do you want to see... And you name something, I don't know what it is. Well, I don't know that I want to see it yet. You got to show it to me. You got to sell it to me. Anyway, that was my rant for the day. Gary says 47 meters down could be Jaws 19 for all we know. Yes. And the 47 meters movies are surprisingly good. The first 47 meters down, I really expected to be just a bomb of a movie, and it was surprisingly entertaining. And the second one, again, pretty good. Joey says, I did hear a rumor that Biff was based on the leader of the free world. That would have been Reagan? I don't know. I don't see Reagan as Biff, quite frankly. After season 13, just start watching Futurama. Good advice. James says, sorry, Joe was talking. Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed something. Anyway. Joey says nobody asked for La La Land except for Rick. Jimmy's Star Wars Museum is in the house. Says, I like all the Star Wars movies. Fantastic. I enjoy them all to a certain degree. I have trouble with The Phantom Menace. But there's something. You could pick something out of each of them. James says, speaking of HBO, Joe, ever heard of Fraggle Rock from Jim Henson? Oh my God, yes. I have an autographed Funko Pop of Wembley Fraggle right in the back room there, signed by Steve Whitmire. Mr. Steve Whitmire. Sam says, sorry, can't hang tonight. Oh, Sam, we will miss you. We will miss you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Gary says, well, Solo wasn't a terrible movie, but it was unnecessary. But every movie's unnecessary. There's no such thing as a necessary movie. We want movies. We want movies because we like them. We don't need them. We need food. We need water. We don't need movies. So there's no such thing as a necessary movie. Han Solo's backstory didn't need to be explored. We already knew he was a smuggler and that he won the Falcon fair and square. Yes, but my God, what a great movie Solo was. I saw that movie 3 times opening weekend, and guess what I have here? the solo menu from Denny's. That's right. Denny's had a solo menu, and I got it. Let's look at the solo menu, shall we? First of all, we had exclusive trading cards. There was the Lightspeed Slam. We had the Lightspeed Slam. We had the Two Moons Skillet. The Co-Reactor Pancake Breakfast. And the Blaster Fire Burger. Oh, and I forgot the Crystal Crunch Your Milkshake. Are there any themed drinks? Nope, guess not. But my God, no solo menu. And I don't want to live in a world where I don't have a solo menu. Let's see. It is also incomplete. Had the movie had a beginning, middle, and end, it would have been better, but Disney was too focused on making sequels than making just one good movie. I don't know what you mean by that. Solo definitely had an ending. He won the Falcon at the end. Jimmy says, I just like the pod racing scenes. Yeah, I like the lightsaber battles pretty good. Bohemian says, I still want a Monsters, Inc. 2 that takes place when Sully opens Boo's door. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it someday. Pixar is all in on sequels these days. I say that in a year when we're about to get 2 Pixar films that are not sequels. Onward, which looks great, and Soul, which looks like it's going to be great. James says, I love Denny's. That solo menu is great. Thank you. It's part of my sci-fi menu collection, right next to the menu for Quark's Bar from Las Vegas. This was the Star Trek experience at the Vegas Hilton Quark's Bar menu. I keep them here on the bar. Lisa says, did you steal that menu? It was given to me. I asked the waitress, I said, what are you going to do with those solo menus when this promotion's done? She goes, they go in the trash. I said, can it go home with me? And she said, I didn't see nothing. So that's how that went down. The Quark's Bar menu, that one was stolen, but not by me. That one was stolen by someone else and given to me. So Backquinn says, I got a solo Star Wars cup from my movie theater when the movie came out, which I keep all my ticket stubs in. Also got a Rise of Skywalker cup, but it's at my friend's house. You know, I have Rogue One cups around here somewhere. Excuse me. Kyle says, how am I feeling? I'm feeling better. I say that as I'm holding back a sneeze, actually. Aubrey says, I've never been to a Denny's. Oh, Aubrey, Denny's is the best. Do you have Denny's in your area? Have you just never been there, or is there none in your area? Because you got to go. You got to get a Grand Slam. Go on your birthday. The Grand Slam is free on your birthday. It's a free Grand Slam. You can't go wrong. I don't even have a Denny's in this area. On my birthday, every year I drive to a Denny's just to get a Grand Slam. Excuse me. I am feeling much better, but I'm having some after effects. Gary says, I know that this was a bad movie, but Fantastic Four from 2015 had a great Denny's menu. I had the Human Torch skillet and the Invisible Woman pancakes. Does anyone have that menu? I remember when it was out, but I don't have that menu. In fact, you know, I never saw the movie. Excuse me. I need a cough drop. Movie Collector says, what happened to the Lunchbox bunch? Movie Collector, I haven't been able to get together with Dave for a while. He's currently in Disney World. He's in Disney right now. If any of you are in Disney World or the Florida area, you could actually meet Dave Perillo up until Friday. I think Friday he leaves. Follow him on Instagram. He's got the schedule on Instagram, but he's at Epcot for the Festival of the Arts. You can meet him. You can buy art from him, get it signed. He's at Epcot like every day this week, but not the weekend. I think he leaves Friday. The schedule is on his Instagram. He's Montygog on Instagram. That's Montygog. Montygog. Look for him on Instagram. You'll be able to find his schedule. But if you're in Florida, go stop by, see Dave. Let's see. But yeah, movie collector, we do have more lunchboxes. We want to do more lunchbox bunches. It's just a matter of getting together, which is never easy. I always have to go to him because he can't come here. He's highly allergic to the cat. I've been hoping maybe our friends at Water Tower Cinema might let us shoot one there. I haven't asked, so I don't know. But I got to find a place near me that we could shoot them if he comes up this way, because he gets sick every time he comes in this house because of the cat. Kyle says, I cannot stop coughing, Joe. I'm sorry, Kyle. I've been there. It's horrible. I hate that. I remember once I had a really bad cough and it hurt when I laughed. And I was watching the season premiere of Community and it was cracking me up. And it was so funny and it was so painful. Joey says, do you have to prove it's your birthday to get a Grand Slam? Yes, got to show them your ID. Well, technically, you have to show them your ID. Some of them just don't care. Some of them take your word for it. Marie says, Joey, stealing isn't a scam, it's a crime. This is true. James says, favorite Sonic game and favorite Mario game. My favorite Mario game is Donkey Kong. Absolutely, the original Donkey Kong. And my favorite Sonic game, I've only played like the first three. The first is probably my favorite because I never really stuck with them. Jimmy's Star Wars Museum says, did you get anything from the Rise of Skywalker from your local restaurants? I got some from McDonald's. Yeah, I got some of the little McDonald's Happy Meal guys. They're actually on my desk at work. And I got to bring them home because I really don't have room for them. That's pretty much all I got from Rise of Skywalker. Oh my gosh, my good friend and my one of my Patreon supporters, Liza, is in the house. Hello, Liza. I just flew back from Orlando yesterday. Were you in Disney? Did you see Dave? You know Dave, right? Yeah, you hung out with Dave back in the old days, right? Sometimes I got old man brain, you know? That's very sad, but I can't remember things sometimes. Jimmy said, I read that. And man, Liza, I'm jealous. I would love to be in Orlando, especially when so many of my friends are in Orlando. Oh, and this time of year, my God, it's so cold out. Well, it wasn't that cold later today. Joey says, can you rank your top 5 favorite colors from worst to best? Let's see. Number 5 would be itchy. Number 4 would be molasses. Number 3 would be mulch. Number 2 would be action figures, and number 1 would be Play-Doh. There you go. Jimmy says, I got the promotion posters from them. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You know, actually, the cover photo, you know, I had to do the little thumbnail photo for the live stream. It's from an item that's up there on the top of the shelf. It's a C-3PO cookie jar that you mailed away for. I think you bought potato chips or something. Or it was in Keebler Products, I think it was. But it was from Revenge of the Sith. James said Pac-Man had an animated series back in the 80s. Ah, yes! I have them on DVD. I love that show. The theme song. Anyway. Man, I wish I had the cough drops down here. I'm not going to leave you guys to go get cough drops because they're upstairs. I'm not going to leave you to do that. Mr. Will says, are you feeling better, Joe? I heard you were feeling under the weather. Mr. Will, thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better. Much, much better. I was not happy on Monday and Tuesday, but today, much better. Metrobolisk Radio says, Forever Not a Visitor and Terry Farrell. I missed the beginning of that conversation. I apologize. There's side conversations. Sometimes I get caught up in a side conversation. Sav says, I enjoyed your Star Trek ranking videos. Thank you. I know people enjoy the ranking videos, and with Picard coming, it just seemed like the perfect time. And James says, what's your favorite thing to eat at Taco Bell? Mine is Mexican pizza. Oh, I love, and they don't make them, but they still make them. But it's not on the menu anymore. You got to ask for it. I like nacho cheese chalupas. That's the chalupas where they put nacho cheese sauce on it instead of sour cream or yeah, I love that. You gotta ask for it though. It used to actually be an item on the menu. Now it's not, but they'll still make it for you. That James says that sounds like the Pac-Land theme from the animated Pac-Man theme. Sounds like that. Yes, the video game Pac-Land did use the same theme song. And guess what? Down the Movie is in the house. Welcome, Rick. How you doing, Rick? Joey says you can get the cough drops. You can just let Jules entertain us. Yeah. Jules is actually... Hi, Jules. How you doing? They're asking for you, Jules. Yeah, I know. Okay, Noah says, I'm really enjoying The Office. Think I might start The King of Queens. I was a fan of The Office. I never really watched The King of Queens. I can't really say one way or the other. Batquin says, hey, Rick, thanks for following me on Letterboxd. Batquin, what's your name on Letterboxd? I'll follow you. Am I following you already? I don't know. I'm following Liza. I know that. Conor McGregor is in the house. Rick, you need to debate Dave on Joker next live stream. Whoa, wait. Did Dave not like it? Did Dave dislike Joker? I gotta find out about this. Batquin asked which Star Trek actresses you've had a crush on and left out Nana Visitor. I love Nana Visitor. And Terry Farrell. I'd say Nicole DeBoer. Nicole DeBoer Esri. I would say... yeah, I don't know. That would be my answer. Tilly. I don't know. I don't know. I got my wife. I don't need the Star Trek actresses. I got my wife. She's better than all of them. Anyway. Yeah, how are you feeling, Rick? Rick was sick too. You feeling better? All right. Kyle's Movie Corner says, hey, Rick, they should reboot The Office and make a funny version of it. Joey, I seriously worry about your funny bone, man. Down the Movie says, still not feeling... Oh, Rick, I'm sorry to hear that. James says, ever seen Chillerama? It's great, a bit raunchy, but it's appropriate since 5E movie is set in a classic drive-in. Plus, Cool Duder is in it. I didn't know Cool Duder was in it. I picked it up, actually, during the last... I really need that cough drop. During the last Dollar Tree sale. Joey says, I didn't like the Joker. Ledger was better. Well, Joey, Ledger was a scam. Noah says, Dave is wrong about Joker. Dave said it was good. I just didn't get all the hype. Oh, I thought it was great. It was actually in my top 5 of the year. When I did my top 5, that was amongst them. That was my number 5, in fact. Bohemian says, Funko is coming out with Star Trek Discovery Pops. I saw that. I might want a Saru. I have to see it in person. I just saw the little kind of mock-up of it, but I might want a Saru. I wouldn't get Michael Burnham, though, because I don't buy Pops of humans unless they're very distinctive looking, because I don't know, it's very hard to tell who a Pop is, you know, when it's a human. I mean, there's some exceptions, but not many. Like, I can't find it. I have a Geordie somewhere. Where the heck is Geordie? Oh, he's back. I'm not going to try to reach for him. But Geordie, he's got the visor. He's very distinctive. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm getting behind on the chat. Kill Switch says, have you seen Curse of the Blue Lights? It looks cool. I have not. What is that? Let me write it down. Is that a new movie? Write it down in my handy dandy notebook. Curse of the Blue Lights. All right. Sav says, my friend Sam met Dax from DS9 and had his photo taken with her. She used to live locally. She used to live like around here for a while. I don't think she does anymore because now she's married to Leonard Nimoy's son. Joey says your top 5 movies were wrong. There was no Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 would have been in my top 10. It would have been. Let's see. Everyone's talking about how inappropriate Chillerama is. I'll have to check this out. Backwin says Marina Sirtis is one of my biggest celebrity crushes, along with Neve Campbell and Margot Robbie. Killswitch says it's kind of rare. Curse of the Blue Lights. All right. I'm going to look it up. Movie Collector says you and Rick should record on the podcast. I would like that. In fact, I got big plans for the podcast. I got big plans. And yeah, I would love to have Rick on. We're gonna be rebooting the podcast from episode 1. The episode actually that I just did with J2H is probably going to be renumbered as number 1. But we're rebooting from number 1, and I'm going to remove all the old episodes from the feed. You may be wondering why am I going to do this. There's a reason. There is a reason. A couple reasons, actually. One reason is I got very lax on using licensed music, which I shouldn't have done. You're supposed to use pod-safe music. But I heard other podcasters using licensed music, and I'm like, everyone's doing it. What the heck? But then I went to put the podcast up on Spotify, and Spotify has a clause that you cannot put it up there if there's any licensed music on there. So I'm taking everything down. Also, when I was younger, did the podcast, some of my humor was very inappropriate. And now I got kids. And I don't want my kids going back someday and finding those podcasts and saying, oh my God, did you hear what Dad said? So, yeah, I'm taking all of them down and we're starting over. But I think it's going to be a better podcast. Connor says, is Wrath of Khan your favorite film of all time? No, that would be the Back to the Future trilogy. The Back to the Future trilogy are my 3 favorite movies of all time. Todd's in the room. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Oh, what's this? Brandon says, taking advantage of the Target buy 2 get 1 deal on media. I didn't know about this deal. I'm going to have to look this deal up. I did not know about it. Thank you for the tip. How long does it go for? Has it started yet? How long does it run? Sav says, Joe, I know Star Trek Voyager is your least favorite Star Trek, but do you have a favorite episode? Yes. Let me put it this way. I don't hate Voyager. It's my least favorite of the bunch, but I don't hate it. And by its start, it's Star Trek. By its very nature, there's going to be episodes that I enjoy because as Star Trek, it's about, exploration, space, going strange new worlds. So you're going to, while I think the writing on that show was the weakest of any of the Star Trek series, there were good ones. And my favorite was an episode from season 2 called Deadlock, where Voyager, through some anomaly, encounters another Voyager. And one Voyager was beat to hell, and there was another Voyager that was, in better shape. And that episode goes in some crazy directions. I really enjoy that one. Season 2's Deadlock, easily my favorite episode of the series. James says, sorry, Joe, did you know that DC Heroes teamed up with the Looney Tunes in some comics? Batman meets Elmer Fudd as an example. I did know that. I have a couple of them. I have Aquaman meets Jabberjaw. I want my Slaws in the room. Wait, let me listen to all your podcasts before you take them down. But your dad never made inappropriate jokes? No. No, my dad was very, he never really said anything off color. Never, ever dropped an F-bomb. And my dad's passed. And when my daughter was born, I couldn't exactly turn to my dad for advice, for parenting advice. He was gone. He died 2 years before my daughter was born. So when I said to myself, well, what, I can't go to dad for parenting advice. I just decided to follow his example, and you know, I never drop f-bombs or anything. I'm not offended by them. You know, you'll hear the podcast. If a guest drops on, it doesn't offend me. It doesn't bother me. But I don't want my girls hearing me say it, because I never heard my dad say it, and I don't want them hearing their dad say it, because I'm just trying to follow my dad's example. So yeah, that's parenting changes you. You know, it really does. Ron says, have you seen Tom Wilson's YouTube channel? He's Biff from Back to the Future. His channel is delightful. I have. I actually had a dream I was hanging out with Tom Wilson the other day. It was really weird. And it was a very bizarre dream, because the dream was, I dreamt that I met Tom Wilson on the street, and he's like, and he remembered me from a convention where we met. And he was like, hey, how have you been? And he's like, come on, come with me. And I went with him, and he took me to a comic book store where Adam the Woo was working behind the counter. Now, I don't know where this dream came from. I know Adam and Tom Wilson are friends. And I know the last time I saw Adam was at Dragon Con, which is kind of like a Comic-Con. It's more than a Comic-Con, but it's kind of like a Comic-Con. And he was telling me the story of how he became friends with Tom Wilson. So maybe in my head, they all got mixed up. And I thought, Tom, like a Comic-Con and Adam the Woo and Tom Wilson, and my brain just turned it into this weird thing. I don't know. It was a bizarre dream. It was a very bizarre dream. Lisa says, the cat's not sounding happy right now. How old is your cat? The cat is... How old is that cat? That cat is probably 15, 16 years old. He wants to go upstairs. That's the problem. He's locked in the basement. He's at the steps. He wants to get out. But he lives down here, because this is where his litter box is, and he and the dog don't always get along. It's a big trick of keeping them separated, because they don't like each other, and the cat has claws, and the dog is blind, and we got to basically protect the dog from the cat, because the dog can't see the cat coming at him anymore. He's blind, so it's a balancing act. Brandon says, it is active now and is online only, but includes pre-order titles, so I'm thinking about getting the Wizard Special Edition Blu-ray. Oh, very cool. All right. There's a few pre-orders I do want, so maybe I will take advantage of this. James says, Cloak and Dagger is a great movie, Joe. I love Cloak and Dagger. Man, I love Cloak and Dagger. It's such a great movie. Yes. Jack Flack always escapes. I tried to show that to my daughter a couple of years ago. She's 12 now. So I don't know. I guess she was like 9 or 10 at the time, and she said it was too scary. I don't think it's a scary movie, but she was scared by it. Connor says, have you seen Ad Astra? I think you would like it since you like space exploration. I haven't. I heard some pretty bad reviews. I heard it's really slow moving, but I might check it out one of these days. You know what movie I really want to check out? And I just picked it up, and I might watch it tonight. I want to see Ready or Not. I did my top 5 films of the year with Heath from Serial at Midnight, and he put Ready or Not as his #1 film of the year, and I haven't seen it. So I got it now, and I'm dying to watch it, because he really recommended it highly. So that's probably going to be the next movie I watch, is Ready or Not. I did watch The Farewell, which is a movie a lot of people said should have been nominated for Best Picture. I don't think it should have been. It's good, but I don't think it's that good. So, I don't know. If you're talking about a movie that didn't get nominated that should have, I'd say Knives Out. That's me. Sav says, your cat is very vocal. Yes, too vocal. Too vocal. And my friend Wes is in the room, Thinking Art Entertainment. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? And Wes is obviously a very big fan of The Farewell. A++++++++++. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away by it. Part of it, a lot of times expectations are a killer. I always think you shouldn't go into something expecting greatness, because if you do, you might be like Citizen Kane is the perfect example. People always say, "Oh, Citizen Kane, best movie ever made, best movie ever made, best movie." You hear that all the time, Citizen Kane. So I never saw it, and I sat down to watch it, and my attitude was, I am sitting down to watch the best movie ever made. I didn't think it was the best movie ever made. It was good, but sometimes when you set the bar that high, the movie can't live up to it. So I kept hearing people say, "Oh, The Farewell should have been best picture," and I watched it, and I'm like, let's check this thing out. This is going to be great. And I watched it, and I'm like, I guess it just couldn't hit that bar that people had set for it. but I liked it, and I did, and I kind of watched it twice because I missed a part of it, and then I went back to watch it again. I ended up watching the whole thing again. Marie says, I think you'll like it. Yes, watch Ready or Not. Yeah, I can't wait. Heath really, but that's another one. He set the bar up here. I don't know, hopefully. Gary says, Joe, how was Smallville? I just picked up season 1 on DVD at a pawn shop for $1. I was just wondering if it's worth watching since there's 10 seasons. Gary, wow, Smallville. It's very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss. When it's good, it's very good. Season 2 is sort of when Smallville's at its best. That's the season Christopher Reeve guest starred. It's really good. Then season 3 comes along, and the quality dips significantly. It's up and down for all 10 seasons. It ends with what I think is the worst series finale I've ever seen in my life. But I'll tell you this, Tom Welling and Erica Durance reprised their roles of Clark and Lois on the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that just happened on Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, all those shows. And the brief scene Tom Welling had in the Crisis crossover was a better send-off to his character than the 2-hour finale of the series. It honestly was. He got a great scene that really was a good finale for the Smallville series. Better than the final episode of Smallville. Lisa says, I was grinning ear to ear when Frank Oz came on in Knives Out. He was funny without cracking jokes. I love him. We all love Frank Oz. Isn't Frank Oz the best? James says, what is better, Degrassi or Saved by the Bell? I prefer Degrassi. All right, now here's the question. Are we talking the original Degrassi or that Degrassi The Next Generation? Because I'll tell you, I never saw a single episode of Degrassi The Next Generation. Not a single one. But the original Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High, I did watch those. And I'm going to say Degrassi. Sav says, Species 8472. I missed the build-up to that, but yes, Species 8472 was the species that the Borg was afraid of. Wes says, expectations can be pretty brutal. I try to ignore the noise, but it's hard sometimes, especially for big movies. This is true. Joey says, I saw a documentary called Who Let the Dogs Out. It's about the history of the song, and it's one of the best documentaries of 2019. I don't know if you're pulling my leg or not. I'm going to write this down in my notebook and Google it. But I get a feeling you might be pulling my leg there. We'll see. Who Let the Dogs Out? All right, let's check it out. Wes says your cat is going ham. Yes, he is. Where are you, Jules? What are you doing? Where'd you go? He was just by my feet a second ago. I don't know what it is he wants right now. He wants to get upstairs. That's what he wants. But Joey says you have to watch this. It came with the commentary by the late Roger Ebert. Otherwise, you won't understand why it's so groundbreaking. Oh, I get why it's groundbreaking. You know, I did go to film school. I get that. But I'll never see it for the first time again. You only see something for the first time once. Joey says so many filmmaking techniques were taken for granted were invented by Orson Welles. I'm very well aware. Yeah. Lisa says boyfriend says he still prefers Frank Oz in Spies Like Us. My friend Ryan, who's probably watching this, my friend Ryan knows a guy who sent Frank Oz a letter asking for an autographed picture of him as a cop in Trading Places. And he does, Frank Oz, very well, Lisa. Frank Oz does not like to sign autographs. But Frank Oz sent him the picture and said, "Congratulations, you are the first person to ever ask for my autograph as a cop." He got it. Connor says, "What are your thoughts on YouTube Lex Leba?" I don't know what that is. Oh, James says, "Ever heard of Square One TV? Sesame Street for older kids about math?" Yes, MathNet. I remember MathNet. There was an old video. You can find it on YouTube. There was an old video on Square One TV called like 6% of My Love. And it's a guy singing to his girlfriend about how he can give her 6% of his love. Maybe I have the number wrong, but I think it was 6%. And he has a pie chart of his love, and he's explaining where his love is divvied up, how much his mom and dad get, how much he's like, you get 6% of my love. It's a funny song, but it is on YouTube. Gary says, "What did I major in at film school?" Well, I went to a film school called Full Sail. Wes. Keisha also went to film school, but went to Full Sail. Keisha and I both went to Full Sail, but Full Sail was just a film school when I went there. She went there for business. They added business classes after my time. Yeah, it was just a film program. Obviously, I'm not working in film, but I did go to film school. Sav says, "I got to go almost 3 a.m. in the UK. I got to be up in 3.5 hours." Thanks for stopping by, Sav. We really appreciate it. I know we are not worth staying. I'm saying we. It's just me and the cat. But this is not worth staying up 3 a.m. for. But we're happy you did. I appreciate it. James says, "Favorite Peanut special that is not Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween." Oh, it's the Zapruder film, Charlie Brown. That is one of my all-time favorites. It's the Zapruder film, Charlie Brown. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good one. Look it up. It's a classic. Scott Seinheim is here. Hello, Scott. Wes says, "I knew you went to film school, but I had no idea you went to Full Sail." I did. Full Sail long before Keisha. Yeah, that was I was 99. Back in 99 I went there. Joey says, "My comment was probably blocked, but it was the link to the trailer for the documentary Who Let the Dogs Out." Well, I will Google it, so hopefully I'll be able to find the link. I do have it in my handy dandy notebook. Sav says, "I'm worth staying up." Oh, Sav, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't believe you, but I appreciate it. You are loud tonight, Jules. Yeah, you're loud. Yeah. James says, "What's better, Joe Alice in Wonderland or Yellow Submarine?" I can't say. I've never seen Yellow Submarine. Movie Collector says, "I liked your video with Cyril at Midnight." Thank you. Man, he's a great guy. He's a really good guy. If he and I lived in the same state, I think we'd be like good buddies. I don't know. But yeah, I get the impression. We think in similar ways, I think. Where did you get that He-Man shirt you wore in your last video? Mustang Man says. I got it online. Oh, what's the name of the website? I'm sorry, man. I can't remember. Send me an email, Mustang Man. Send me an email, megapodtastic@gmail.com, so I know how to get in touch with you. And I will try to remember the website, and I can send you the link. Gary says shows on the CW, WB are all hit or miss. Charm went downhill after season 3. Supernatural outlived itself. Arrow went past the 5-year plan. Yeah, unfortunately, it's true. I think the only one that's still good is Legends of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow is fantastic. There's a Superman show coming next year. They got Superman and Lois as a new show premiering next year. And I want to be excited for it. But it's hard to be excited for it because every show they do is good for a season or two and then turns to crap. Ron says, odd problem in movie theaters in New Jersey, bed bugs. Oh my God, there was a theater around here that had that problem. And you know what? They really did a terrible, they handled it poorly because they denied there were bed bugs. They denied it. And everyone knew there were bed bugs because there were pictures out. Pictures had gone on social media. And I said, when you've got bed bugs in your theater, you can't deny it. You have to make a production out of it. You have to shut down the theater for a day. You have to have the place fumigated because when you tell people there's no bed bugs, they're not going to believe you. But if you make a big show of, look, we closed down for 24 hours, we had the whole place fumigated, then you're going to get people's confidence back. People are going to be like, oh, okay, well, they fumigated the building. But the worst thing you can do is say, oh, it never happened. No, there's no bed bugs. But yeah, that happened at a theater near me, the AMC Marple 10 in Media area, Pennsylvania. They had that issue. Wes says bed bugs in movie theaters is my biggest fear. Backward says, does anyone remember the short-lived Birds of Prey show that was on the WB? I do. I was working at TV Guide at the time that show premiered, and they gave us the pilot a couple weeks early. I never loved that show. I wanted to, but you know what? It wasn't really a Batman. It was like an X-Men show. Everyone had a superpower. Like everyone in town had a superpower, and it's like this is supposed to be a show based in the Batman universe. Oh, and they also said like the Huntress had cat powers because she was Catwoman's daughter. It's like, but Catwoman doesn't have powers, so that doesn't really make sense. But those characters. The Huntress from Birds of Prey, the Birds of Prey TV show, was also in the Crisis crossover. They tied the 2002 Birds of Prey series in on Crisis on Infinite Earths too. Lisa says, speaking of college, Christopher Reeve was the honorary speaker at my graduation. One of my best memories. He gave the best speech ever. That is fantastic. I envy you. That is really cool. You know, my brother had as the speaker at his college graduation. You're going to love this one. Bill Cosby. Yep, Bill Cosby. James says, say, Joe, ever watch Reading Rainbow? I love that show as a kid. I did. I was a big fan of LeVar Burton back in the day. Not so much anymore, though. Yeah. Marie says, thank you. I want my slaw. Oh, what did I want my slaw say? I'm not always super vocal on here, but I really appreciate you coming on here every Wednesday and doing Crazy After Dark for us. It's the best part of my Wednesday. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want my soul. I appreciate it. You want to hear something funny? I did the Star Trek videos because of Picard coming out. I did the Star Trek ranking videos. And, you know, I try to promote them on Facebook and social media to, you know, maybe bring some new people in who've never been here before. And I posted those videos to all these Star Trek Facebook groups, and I had a guy comment on my video on one of the Star Trek Facebook groups, and he writes, because I said it was by viewer demand, and he says, viewer demand? Who the heck is this guy calling his, quote, viewers? Is he referring to his mom? I thought that was kind of funny. So yeah, my mom. Okay, here it comes. Gary says, what happened to my interview with Matt Jarbo? Yeah, that's gone. That is gone. That won't see the light of day again. I didn't know enough about the guy. I saw a couple of his videos. He said some things I agreed with about, you know, online some of the online trolls. He had said he did a video where he talked about some of those guys, and I saw it, and I thought, this guy gets it. And I invited him to come on and have a discussion about honesty and integrity on YouTube. And then a couple of my viewers wrote to me and said, do you know this guy's past? And I said, I saw a couple videos from him, and I found out he has quite a colorful past, including some things that I didn't want to be connected with. Apparently he had some racist videos up at one time. And when I found this out, I'm like, ooh, I don't want my channel linked with that. And I deleted that. And yeah, so that came down real quick. I didn't know. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about his background. I saw a couple of videos. He said some things that I was very much in agreement with in the videos I saw. And I said, come on, let's talk about that. And he said, yeah. And to his credit, he was very gracious, took time out of his schedule, came here, came on. Couldn't have been nicer when he was on the phone. But when I found out about the guy's background, I'm like, no, I'm not connecting my channel to that. I don't want that kind of negativity. So that's the story. That's the story. Wes says, did I see Little Women? Not yet. I have not seen Little Women yet. I want to. I haven't seen Parasite yet. I believe the DVD or Blu-ray comes out next week. So I'm hoping to catch Parasite next week. Sam says, what movie are you watching next? Ready or Not. Ready or Not is my next movie. I had Cyril at Midnight on here. He told me it was his #1 movie of the year. And I got to check it out. Wes says, no expectations, but Parasite is the best movie of 2019. Now, you see, that's expectations there, man. That's expectations. Brian says he's been wanting to watch Ready or Not because of that as well. Wes says, your videos still show no thumbnails for me. Yeah, it's funny because I've been seeing the no thumbnails on my iPad. The iPad's showing no thumbnails, but when I look on my phone, I see the thumbnails. So I don't know. Hey, everyone in the chat, do you see thumbnails on my videos? Let me know, because it seems like something a little wacky might be going on here with YouTube. I see the thumbnails some places, but not others. Joey sees the thumbnails. Lisa sees the thumbnails. Aubrey sees the thumbnails. See, and like I said, I see them on my phone, not my iPad. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. James says, Joe, ever seen the short film What on Earth by Kai Peniel? I did not. Let me write it down in my notebook. What on Earth? You guys are giving me homework today. What was the name? Kai Peniel. All right. Brian says, I see the thumbnail on the PC, but some videos I don't. It must be like a YouTube glitch or something. I don't know. Trash Boat is here. Welcome, Trash Boat. By the way, guys, we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. We've been going for an hour, and I'm having a little trouble talking. Like I said, I needed a cough drop like an hour ago. Trash Boat says, just finished watching Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. While some bits fell flat, I feel it was a great movie. The only way you dislike it is if you aren't a Jay and Silent Bob fan. See, I disagree with you, because I'm a big fan. I mean, I was in one of the movies. I was in Chasing Amy. I was a big fan. But I really did not like the movie. I thought Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was terrible. Yeah, I think I don't know. It was so self-referential. It was just all self-referential jokes about Kevin Smith, and yeah, and a lot of the jokes were recycled from the first movie. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to like it, but I did not. Let's see. Jabe says, ever seen Clerks the Animated Series? I do. Yeah, I got Clerks the Animated Series. Kai Pindal is the name. Okay, I will keep an eye out for that. Gary says, gotta go. Get better so all of us can have fun next Wednesday night. Gary, thanks for stopping by. Gary, don't you have a joke for us today? Aren't you going to leave us cards on tomorrow night? Don't you have a Star Trek joke? Joey says, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I don't think Bill Cosby is going to be doing any more graduation speeches anytime soon. Probably not. Probably not. You know why? You see Bill Cosby now. One of his eyes is a little. You know why? He's got to keep one eye on the door. Anyway, I stole that joke from Gilbert Gottfried. That was on Gilbert Gottfried's amazing podcast. I'm ripping jokes off now. Anyway. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Hey, last chance to hear from Super Chat Hippo. But why hear from Super Chat Hippo when you can hear from Jules, right? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. My throat is dying. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. We will be back next week. And James said it best. Keep wearing those pajamas.